I'm going to be showing you a 3D little Christmas shopper, or I guess she doesn't really necessarily have to be considered a shopper because she's just holding two little packages, but she has on a little Santa hat and a little Christmassy Santa, kind of like a Mrs. Claus sort of a dress. She's just really cute and very, very holiday without being like over the top crazy. So I hope you love it as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
So we're going to begin this nail with an overlay of a bright kind of aqua-y bluish acrylic. It's got a little bit of shimmer in the background. Like I said, I didn't want this nail to be overly Christmassy and like solid red and green only. So instead of doing a green background, which I was very tempted to do, let me tell you, I went with this one instead. And I think it plays really well with the red dress and just kind of makes the whole design look a little bit brighter. So I'm going to encapsulate this with a layer of clear acrylic to make sure it is nice and strong, and then file this whole nail into shape with my e-file, making sure that it is nice and smooth and easy to work on top of, and then apply a layer of gel sealer over the entire thing and cure it. So now with some kind of like a warm brown color, I'm going to sculpt my little shopper's head and neck and kind of like chest down to where I would consider like, I don't know, low rib cage. So I wanted this dress to be a little bit, I don't know, scandalous and kind of low cut. So we're going to just bring that chest area down maybe a little further than most of us would want to actually wear in our daily lives. So then with some red acrylic, after that, we are going to begin to sculpt this aforementioned scandalous dress. And I had 3/4 length sleeves on that, so you can kind of do that with that how you want to and sort of design it yourself. I really had fun. I fancy myself to be somewhat of a, I don't know, fashion designer in a past life or something. And so getting to kind of create my own little Santa outfit for this was a lot of fun. So you can play around with it and make it your own as well. So after I have my little 3/4 length sleeves, then I'm going to take and I'm going to start working on a very full bell skirt on this Santa dress, almost like she's got a hoop in there or some kind of structure underneath it. And it flares out really nicely with the red. So if you guys noticed, I did put that gel sealer on before I started sculpting all of this 3D stuff. And the reason I did that is because working with these darker colors like the red and the brown, and when I eventually add her hair, which will be black, that really light aqua-y, bluish, greenish color background, it's like a Tiffany blue, but that light color in the background would stain so horribly and you wouldn't get these nice, crisp, intense lines. Even with that layer of gel sealer, I don't know if you guys can tell, right on like the side of her skirt, there's a little bit of a red residue. And that's easy to clean off of the gel sealer. But if there wasn't that gel sealer on there, if there was just, you know, acrylic on acrylic, then it would be a stain and there would pretty much be no getting rid of it without filing off the surface, which would pretty much mean ruining your 3D art and having to start over. And so anytime you're working on a design like this where you have a light color in the background and highly pigmented colors on top, even if it isn't necessarily, you know, something like black on top of the light color, but sometimes orange is really bad too. But there's just these colors that are so intensely pigmented that they give you this smudgy stain thing, and that's no fun at all. So that layer gel sealer is like a little guard against that. So now, like I said, I'm going to be sculpting her hair with black, and I had so many different hairstyles I wanted to play around with, and I ended up going with kind of like a high poofy ponytail. So there's like a little bit of a, I don't know, 60s, like late 50s, 60s vibe going on with this dress. And so that high, very voluminous, it's not my night for talking, very voluminous ponytail is kind of going in with like the style of the dress and stuff. And then add the teeny tiny little Santa hat on top, and then a nice little black belt across the waist. And you can keep adding details as much as you want and play around with this. As I said, this is kind of like your chance to pretend to be a fashion designer if you have ever wanted to play around with that and create your own little outfit here. So then I'm going to put some boots on her, and I went back to my red color with that. And I was kind of running out of space at the tip of my nail, so the boots go all the way to the tip. If you have a longer nail, or if you totally run out of space, you can just stop. You could even just do it like at the base of her legs, or if you wanted to zoom in the design a little bit, it'd also be really pretty to just put a higher focus on her face and do like just her face and maybe like her bust area, and then call that good. Or if you're doing this as part of a set, you could do one nail like this where it's kind of further away, and then one nail that's more of a close-up. Just ideas to play around with. And if you guys do any of these, I always say this, but please share your creations with me because I would love to see them so much. You have no idea, especially if you kind of take, you know, some creative liberties and switch things up and make it your own. I would just love to see how it turns out. I am going to take white acrylic and add the furry fluffy trim on everything. Like I said, not my night for docking. We're going to be adding the little bits of trim here and there. Basically everywhere where the red ends, I'm going to be adding that trim. And then after I have that, the last final touch that I'm doing with the acrylic is adding her gifts. So I'm going to do one gold wrapped present in each hand, like she's holding them up, almost as if she just walked through the door to a Christmas party and she's like, guess what, guys? Look what I have. That's just what I imagine her saying when she opens the door. So we're going to make those nice little balanced squares and then add the gold on the middle of the belt. So now we're going to start doing all of our details, and I'm going to begin with some black acrylic paint as most of the facial features. It is so teeny tiny that there isn't really that much space to overdo the facial features that you could do, like I said, if you kind of zoomed in on her face a little bit. So kind of just simplify it, eyelash line, eyebrows, little line for the nose, and I did her lips with a dark red. And then after that, you can go through and do some lines here and there, some little outlines wherever you think they're necessary. It's totally up to you how far you want to go with these outlines, but I really wanted to make it really vivid and just kind of cartoony and cutesy and very whimsical, I guess, was where I was going with this. Just kind of embody the spirit of Christmas, just simple happiness across the whole design. So we're going to do the outlines basically all over the place. Do a little bit of outlining on the hands, on the present, and then I'm going to just brighten up her dress a little bit too with some red. So her dress is really dark. I don't know, all my red acrylics seem to always turn out really super dark. And so I like to brighten them with red acrylic paint. If you've watched my videos in the past, you may have known this already. But we're going to just brighten that up eventually. We're going to also brighten up the white because we want that white to look really vivid and intense. Just nice little polka dots across the white will also make it look a tad more fluffy. And then, like I've mentioned, we're going to be doing just those highlights with red across the skirt and basically everything that's red. So boots, skirt, top of the dress, and the hat. Just make it look a little bit brighter. And then also with more of that dark burgundy color that I used for her lips, I'm going to add a crisscross ribbon across the presents. And then we're just going to finish this with a little bit of matte top coat over the 3D art, and she is done. It's just such a, I don't know, happy, whimsical design that I love it so much. I hope you guys are in love with it as much as I am. And if you do a recreation, like I said, please share it with me. I'd love to see it so much. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.